Hey everybody, my name is Kyle Knott and I am not your average finance guy. We're going to show you some things they don't really talk about in school much, and the big banks, the big financial firms, they don't really tell you this stuff either. To me, it's a better way of doing things. So follow along. Today we are going to talk about, remember the old example of, would you rather have $1 million right now, or would you rather have a penny that doubles every day for a month? Now, if you've heard this before, most of us have. Obviously, the penny doubles every day for a month usually ends up with a lot more money, right? So it depends on what month, of course, but even in February, if it starts with a penny and every day it doubles to 2 cents to 4 cents to 8 cents to 16 cents, by the time you get to February 28th, you'll have $1.34 million. So that's the shortest month of the year. What if it's a 30-day month? Then you go all the way up to 5.37 million. And if you could get it just one more day, that again doubles to over $10 million. So pretty cool concept. But like I got behind me here, that is uninterrupted compounding. What happens if you interrupt it in some way, shape, or form? So if you do interrupt this, I've got a spreadsheet up here. Let me see if I can bring this over to you. All right, so as you can see here in the spreadsheet, we start with a cent. Okay, day one is 1 penny, 2 pennies, 4 pennies, 8 pennies, 16 cents, 32 cents. At the end of a week, we got a measly 64 cents. Okay, you're thinking, oh shit, did I do the right thing? Maybe I should have just taken the million. I've waited a week, I only got 64 cents. But if we jump down here to day 31, let's say we're Halloween, and this is October, we get 31 days to do this. Every day we got $10.737 million. That's uninterrupted compound interest, okay? What happens if we interrupt this? Okay, if we interrupt this, let's say on, I don't know, day 15, you're real hungry. You want to go get some lunch. Minus 20 bucks. I'm going to eat lunch on the 15th for 20 bucks. That lunch cost you $1.3 million. It took it down by 20 bucks right here, and by the time that plays out through the rest of the month, you're left with 9.4 million. Still, that's pretty good, right? I'll still take, I started with a penny, I'll take 9.4 million. That $20 lunch, though, in the middle of the month, ended up, your opportunity cost was 1.3 million. What if you could just not go out for lunch for 15, 16 more days? Would you skip lunch for $1.3 million? I know I would. Would you? So let's we'll undo that, and that was just lunch. Okay, undo that. What if we get down to, let's see, where are we at here? We've got $1 million by day 28. $1 million here, day 27. We've got 600. Man, I've always wanted this house. It's a really nice house. I love the house, and I'm gonna buy it. I want to get this house, and the house is $500,000. Which day do you buy it? Let's say, all right, I got $1 million. I'm just going to buy $1 million house. Okay, so let's go in here and we're going to go subtract 500, 3. $500,000 house takes you down. You still got $842,000 and a house. Okay, a couple days later, you're still left with $6.7 million and a house. Still pretty good. That $500,000 house, what, 4 days later? Cost you $4 million. You couldn't wait 4 more days to buy that house? That's the stuff that we do every day. I know this is a pretty drastic example. Where was I at? So let's undo all that. If we can delay gratification just a little bit. Now, obviously, our money does not double every day for a month. But your money will double, and the higher your interest rate, this is 100% on your money every day. Now that's unheard of. If you can find that, I would by all means go for that, but that doesn't happen too much. Okay, so what you can do though is the higher the interest rate that you can get, and there's a lot of different ways to do it. If you just give it to some financial planner and let them put it in the markets, and now we get 8% every year that's what the That doesn't happen. But even if you did 8%, there's a rule of 72. What is it like? I don't know. Every 10 years or so, your money will double. So in 300 years, you could have this very same thing if you started with a penny. But what if nobody really starts with a penny? What if on day one, instead of a penny, we started with, I don't know, $1. Just $1. $1 gets us up to, that's not 1 million, that's 1 billion. Okay, 1,073,741,000. Okay, that's a difference of a billion. So whatever you start with, let's keep this compounding going. Don't interrupt it. That is uninterrupted. My wonderful handwriting there with the underlined, uninterrupted compound interest. First thing, don't interrupt it. Second thing, the more you can start with, the better off you are. Okay. What if you started with, I don't know, what if you started with $100? If you could throw $100 in there, you got $107 billion. Okay. Obviously, this, like I said, is not right, but this is a good example to show you what is possible when your money just works. This is all passive income. I don't have to do anything for it. I entered it into this contract, and this is what we get out of it. So let's go back to the first example of 0.01, 1 penny. Okay, what did we say? On the 15th, we wanted lunch, and then somewhere around here, we bought a house. Now, if you were to do this system inside an infinite banking concept, here's what you could do. Let's say on day 28, remember we bought that house for $500,000? Let's say that there's some crazy thing going on, like you have to buy it today. You have to buy it by this day, or maybe you found it back here on the 16th. It's like, wow, I'd really love to have that house, but I can't. I've only got $327, and the realtor knows what kind of system you're in, what kind of agreement you're in. It's like, well, and they pull all the numbers out. By day 28, you'll actually have 1.3 million, and that's the last day that we can close on this. So why don't you go ahead and buy it then? And I'm like, oh wow, okay. Now, we already saw that if you do this, it's going to cost you a couple $1 million, right? If you do that, I think it was $4 million it's going to cost if you do it inside this system. But if you do that inside an infinite banking system, then you can borrow against this. So that money never comes out. Now, this is the miracle and the beauty of the infinite banking concept, is that 1.3 million, I could borrow $500,000 and buy the house. And guess what? Would be my cash value, would still continue to grow because I didn't take that money out. I borrowed against it. Now, I know this is a silly scenario, but what if we waited 4 more days? I waited 4 more days. Now I've got 10 million. And then 4 days, I pay that off. I pay that loan off of $500,000 and whatever, give them a couple bucks extra of interest. And now you're still left with 10.2 million versus your opportunity cost the first time cost you 4 million and you had a paid off house. But if you can wait, in this example, 4 more days, now you've got a paid off house and you still got 10.2 million. Okay, that's the beauty of the infinite banking concept, is you can borrow against that money, but it still continues. It is uninterrupted compounding. Now, granted, it's not 100% a day. Right now, it's at roughly 6.5, 6.64, I think, is what it paid last year. And it's always guaranteed. I think the floor is 4%. So you've got a 4% floor of continuous, uninterrupted compound growth. And if and when they pay dividends, which they pay dividends every year for the last, my policy paid for 177 years, I think it's paid dividends. So above and beyond that guaranteed floor. So my guaranteed floor is 4%. Last year they paid 6.6%. So another 2% on top of that. Awesome. Where are you going to find that in a savings account? You can't. And the beauty, and that's not what I'm getting at, is where to do it. It's the uninterrupted compound interest. Now, if you start this system when you're 50, it's going to be a little different than when you start it for your baby, for your child. Or when was the best time to plant a tree was 30 years ago. Sorry, that didn't happen. Let's plant it today. Let's start when you can start. So I love this example because it's uninterrupted compounding at its finest. So I've got a couple more things. I think I'm going to make a different video on that though with this similar example. This is long enough. So I hope this gets through. To me, this is huge. The uninterrupted compounding interest and letting that roll, and inside the infinite banking concept, this is what happens. It continues to go and go and go. And if you can let this stretch out for 30, 50, 70 years, who knows how long, maybe I've heard stuff that people say that, the first person who lived to 150 is probably walking the earth right now, with all the medical advances and AI and everything that's coming out. So we'll see. But wouldn't this be nice to have, to get this thing rolling and let this grow and compound out a lot of years. So, all right, I hope this helps, and let me know if you got any questions. I love this stuff, so let me know, and I'd be happy to help you out. All right, good luck, everybody.